Welcome, everybody, to episode 17 of Green Thumbs and Good Vibes, your gardening podcast about all things fruit and vegetable growing and the sustainable lifestyle that comes along with it. As always, we are your hosts, Collin and Mitchell. We're so thankful you chose to join us today. In today's podcast, we wrap up the February challenge talking about the carnivore diet for a month. How did it go? What was it like to go back to normal eating after that? We have some stories to tell. And then we are, towards the end of the podcast, going to introduce the next challenge. We love the February challenge so much. We will be doing a March challenge. It'll be very, very fun, and we hope you follow along with us in that journey too. But first, let's get into the carnivore. So Mitchell, talk to me about, we checked in halfway through. Now we're out past the finish line. So what were those last few weeks like? What changes, if any? And then what was it like to go back to eating those delicious carbs?
Yeah, I don't know about you, but the last, week or two, it was starting to get a little tough there. Just, you don't eat the same thing so often, like when you have to do carnivore, just basically eating meat. I mean, I don't know about you, but it was starting to get a little old for me.
Yep.
I applaud people who are able to do this, on a consistent basis, and just any sort of diet in general. It can be tough starting to get those carb cravings, and when when it was the last week, it's coming up. I'm planning, like, I'm gonna have pizza on Friday. I'm gonna have pasta on Saturday.
Yeah.
But no, it was really, really nice. I'm happy that we were able to get through it. Like, it feels nice to have accomplished a challenge. That's kind of probably my biggest takeaway from it, is just, it's nice to set a goal and then reach it, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way, that's why we discussed, we're going to do a March one now, because it's just so nice. Those kind of medium term goals are really, really fun, I think, and very rewarding as well, because you're able to do a lot in a month. And so anyway, I want to talk, I actually want to start kind of at the beginning and give people, just in case they haven't watched like the past clips or the past episodes in full. We started by ordering the meat, right? We ordered a large amount, about 35 pounds each. So what was your experience with the company that you ordered from? And what was your experience eating that kind of meat? Because just as a reminder, we chose very high quality meat, grass-fed, grass-finished beef in, of course, those large quantities, a few different cuts. So talk to me about the ordering process, how it was working with that company, and what you found when you went to eating it.
Yeah, I ordered from White Oaks Pastures, and like you said, the grass-fed, really high quality meat, and I mean, just fantastic, honestly. The only thing probably that I would say is it took maybe 2 weeks to get here. So if you're gonna do this sort of thing, definitely plan ahead of time, because I, ordered the meat maybe a week before February, and then I'm already a week into February, but the meat's not here yet. But besides that, the meat, super delicious, and you can, feel just a little bit better that the source that it's coming from is obviously very, ethical, and they try to be as sustainable as possible. And I still have a lot of that meat left over as well, which I'm gonna, be looking forward to in the next couple weeks. Some of those cuts, like stir fry and stuff, I mean, you can cook it on carnivore, but it's, you kind of want to wait till after, when you can start adding in the nice carby sauces and things like that. But yeah, no, it's been fantastic. And I'm definitely going to be looking into something like this in the future too. It's a little more pricey, I would say, but overall, it's not that much crazier than just going to the grocery store and buying all the meat, on its own. That's kind of what surprised me about it.
Yeah, and there's a huge convenience factor to having that much meat on hand, that I found. So, like, even though maybe if you were to go and buy the meat one burger pound at a time, one ground beef pound, at a time, or like one cut at a time, you might be able to get it cheaper. The convenience factor leads to a lot less eating out in my case. So I think through that, like kind of incorporating that into the equation, you might be saving money then. And like I said, you're paying for the convenience as well. So that has to be factored in. Yeah. So I ordered from a different company, and I definitely wanted to give them a shout out, because my company's customer service was just top tier customer service. They reached out to me personally. They introduced themselves. I told them about what we're doing here on the channel. And currently, we don't have the biggest channel out there for sure. Absolutely not. We're still beginning, we're still in our first year. And they said, oh, thank you so much. They were so grateful that we were sharing, in this journey and kind of showcasing their meat. And, they've reached out multiple times checking in, saying they watched the episodes. I mean, you couldn't ask for more.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's super awesome. And also, super nice people in general. And I think the shipping, it's been so long, I don't remember, but I remember it being fairly quick. Like they said that it's going to ship out in the next couple days after ordering. Sure enough, everything that they said was going to happen happened when it did or earlier. And I actually was able to get my meat in before February. So that was really a helping hand in the process.
The way to do it.
The way to do it, absolutely.
What's the name of that company? And they're based out of California, right?
Yeah, I should definitely shout them out by name. High Noon Beef is the name of the company, High Noon Beef. And it's a family-run farm, it seems to me. And, follow them on Facebook. It seems like that's a place where they do a lot of kind of person-to-person connection, meeting with their customers and kind of getting feedback and stuff. I think they're even doing a challenge right now to name like one of their steers. I think that's so funny.
Oh,
I was going to put in I haven't put it in yet, so I hope they're still doing it, but I wanted to put in a guess or a suggestion of Matthew McConaughey. What do you think about that one?
Yeah. I think that might be a winner.
Yeah. The other one I had a little, a little more edgy is Sir, like a knight's name, Sir Loin Steak.
Poor guy, just named after what he's going to be created
right.
into.
And so that's why we went with McConaughey, I think is the better one. So, but anyway, yeah, High Noon Beef. Once again, thank you so much for everything. And they sent me a hat with my purchase, which I love. It's a cool hat, and I wear it. I think I even wore it in one of the podcasts here. So, yeah, very, very good. And the meat, of course, the taste was impeccable. Like, I remember the first time I tried the ground beef, which of course isn't like, they're not advertising that as their highest tier product or anything. The ground beef is what it is. Nobody's eating ground beef and thinking this is like the highest quality meat, right? But man, it's noticeably different, I have to tell you. And the flavor's great. Just a little bit of salt, bringing out that natural flavor. So delicious. And, the roasts, I've been doing those in beef stock in a crock pot. They just fall apart. Delicious. So really, really good.
I had that same experience with the ground beef with White Oaks. It's like I didn't know ground beef could, have a step up. It's just ground beef, right? But no, it's it was awesome.
Yeah,
making burgers with it. Usually, just bought some Hawaiian buns that I can use for it now.
I bought some buns too. That was one of my first things. So let's talk about that now. So we've talked about all the change. Last time we kind of talked about what we were feeling as far as like the physical effects. So go check out episode 16 for more details on that. But just a basic wrap up is we felt more sustainably energetic throughout the day. Not so many crashes, peaks and valleys, and things like that. But now that we are done, so let's talk about like getting back into normal eating and what were some of the things you were looking forward to?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've had pizza on my mind for like the whole month. I don't know what it was. It's just craving it. But yeah, and then things like buns as well, because I was cooking, a lot of burgers with the ground beef throughout the month, but it's just not the same without a bun. So that's been a big improvement. As well, I don't know if you felt this way, but specifically like vegetables and fruits, I've just had such a craving, for like an apple or grapes, strawberries, and then just really any kind of vegetable as well. So
the fruits for me, for some reason, and I think I talked about this last time, like the fruit, like a pineapple, I was craving that so bad, like just a juicy fruit or like an orange, something with just a lot of juice in it. That sounded so good. Yeah.
Meat is so just, I don't know, it has that flavor, right? And it's all kind of just so similar. I needed a change.
Yeah, for sure. The sauces, like I said at the beginning, my prediction was correct. I definitely craved those sauces, and that's been something I've jumped back on. But I have to say, the first couple of days, like, of course you're going to go hard. Like you said, pizza. I think I think I did have a slice of pizza. Like the night of the 29th, I had a slice of pizza. But I woke up the next day, and man, I think I got woken up by the stomach pain. I was like, oh my gosh, what the hell, and it was because I had eaten that pizza. So man, the body definitely like adjusts, is I guess the best way to say it. And it's just like you feed it something like that, it's like, I don't know how to handle this anymore. I've gone 30 days
Hmm.
almost without any of this. And so what are you doing? So did you have any experiences like that?
Yeah, yeah, very similar. Like during the month of February, I had almost zero stomach pains, really anything like that. It was just so consistent. I would eat the meat and I would feel fine, I'd get the energy. But
Yep.
yeah, just going into like I'll say I had Chick-fil-A the first day, out from carnivore and had it for dinner and super delicious, but I just passed out afterwards. Like
Yeah.
it's just got the carb crash, like, okay, it's time for bed. And I never really got that on carnivore, even when I ate big meals, but no, it's got a salad at Chick-fil-A too, just craving like some greens. So no, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
So I've found like, I got to kind of decide how much of that I have, even now, even a few days, later, 3 days into March when we're
Hmm.
filming this. Like, I have to, I can have a bun with the burger. I did that last night. I did like a bacon burger, had the bun, but I just had like cheese on it. I, had a little bit of ketchup, little sauce, no problem there. But man, I'm afraid to like go have a spaghetti dinner or something
Yeah,
because
you
I'm
got to
still
ease
adjusting
into it
back.
for
Yeah.
sure. I mean, I'm sure our digestive systems, yeah, like you said, took on a whole change for the month.
Right.
A month is quite a good time for things to kind of change. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, what I found is, okay, at the end of the month, I was thinking, like, I like this. I probably want to do it again. What is the real purpose of it? Like, what is the real utility of it? And I think it's the best way to cut. That's what I think it is. Like, if you're working out, you're bulking and you're cutting, this is the way to
Hmm.
cut, I think, is do the carnivore, do a strict, carnivore diet maybe, or keto diet. Maybe you add in green veg, something like that. Um, and just go for it. And because what we noticed is very little to no strength loss, even strength gains during the process. But once your
Hmm.
body switches over into ketosis, it's melting the fat off of you. Like we did lose weight during this. At the end, I think there were days where I was maybe 10 pounds down, even maybe 12. I think I ended
Yeah.
then about 8 pounds down from where I started. And, so now I'm back on. I'm going to try to eat more, fill in with those things that we talked about, the buns and the sauces, those extra calories,
Hmm.
and just, start bulking again. But when it does come time to cut again, I think I'm going carnivore. What do you think about that?
That's kind of what I was thinking too. Yeah. Like it's so easy to get to your protein, daily
Yep, that too.
amount that you need when you're doing carnivore. So, and that's something that I struggle with when you're just, bulking in general. But no, I totally agree. Cut with carnivore, and then hopefully when we start gaining this weight back, it's more muscle than fat. Will be the
Right.
goal. But yeah, the strength, yeah, just like I was strong enough in my workouts, but as well, just my like I couldn't do as many reps. I felt like the
Mm,
same weight, but so adding these carbs back in has been super nice to my workout. But yeah, it's really
yeah.
important to not. Hopefully, you don't want to be losing your strength as you're doing that cut.
Right. Yeah. Like a plateau is normal, but I did notice too with you saying that. Like I had a Cliff Bar before my workout. Let's see,
Mm,
probably the 1st of March is when it was. And I was feeling awesome in the gym. I was feeling really energized in the
yeah,
gym that morning for sure. So
it's
I
like
think, yeah, it is tough to like work with just with no carbs in the body. There is a little bit. I noticed that in cardio type stuff more than I did in the weightlifting, because low reps,
hmm.
high weight is sort of the mantra we follow.
Yeah,
So
you just need it with the cardio.
for
But
sure.
yeah, I'm excited for the future though. Just kind of it felt really nice to cut out sugar during all this, and that's something that
Yep.
I kind of want to continue going forward. Like doing carnivores, how I switched to heavy whipping cream
Hmm.
for my coffee instead of using a sugary creamer, and I'm going to stick with that because I just feel more consistent energy throughout the day, especially in the
Nice.
morning.
Yeah. So that's a change you're going to make permanent. That's great.
Hmm.
That's kind of why you explore these different things is like, okay, what are some changes that might be sustainable, but don't totally alter my body like we were talking about. And
Mm-hmm.
also, like, imagine a lot of people do dirty bulks, right? They'll have a lot of fast food. It's all about calories. Maybe they'll have a donut or something every day. Whatever it is. Sugary cereals. I'm a fan of those when I'm bulking. Sugary cereal. But if you're doing that, right, you'll probably accumulate some inflammation just from like all the bad food. So now imagine you use the carnivore as a cut. Well, great. Now we're getting rid of that inflammation. We're kind of resetting the body. The health aspects of this are really great as well. So it can kind of be, especially if you're young, and those are kind of the people that we're talking to who are probably doing and can, vibe with what we're saying with the bulking and the cutting. It's probably people in their 20s and early 30s that are doing that. And at that age, I think, going back and forth on something like that, resetting with carnivore, maybe going back to the dirty bulk, that should be totally fine. That should be great, and you'll see some
Mm-hmm.
great results as well.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to get in those calories, so you just gotta, dirty bulk and eat that donut.
That's right. Krispy Kreme's looking extra good when you're a little, 500 calories short for the day. You might just
Mm-hmm.
see that red light on. Ooh, got to go in there. All right, so let's wrap it up, man. Like, anything else about the carnivore before we move on? I'm really excited to announce the March challenge, so we're going to talk about that next. But
Mm-hmm.
anything you want to end on with the carnivore challenge? We had a great time. I mean, really fun.
Yeah, I just encourage people to give it a try if you think, you're able to. I'd say we both definitely recommend. If you want to like lose a little weight or something, I actually lost the same exact, like around 8 pounds or so at the very last day. So, and we weren't even trying to. It's just how diets work. When you limit what you can eat, you're not going to be snacking as much, and that's really
Right.
how it helps in the most part. But yeah, no, give it a try. We're still here. We're okay.
Yeah.
Feeling good, actually.
We made it. We feel better. We learned some stuff. That's great. All right, man. So March, an exciting month. We're going to do another challenge for March. This time, we're going back into the gardening related. This podcast, we say it every time that we start. It's about gardening mainly, but also some of the lifestyle that might come along with that. Well, we're back to our roots here. We're going back to the gardening. So the title of the challenge, you want to announce the title, Mitchell?
Oh, I didn't write it down.
Oh, you didn't write it down?
You're going to have
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. It's the vertical or March to the Moon is what we're going to call it. March to the Moon. And it's a vertical gardening challenge. Okay. So this challenge, we've talked about it a little bit. We're going to break it into 3 parts throughout the month with kind of 3 mini challenges that, will have their own goals, but then lead to this ending result of some really interesting ways to grow food in limited spaces, or maybe to make the most out of the light you have. Vertical gardening can be very, very creative. So let's talk about how we're going to start, Mitchell. What's the first part of this challenge?
Mm-hmm. Well, the first part of this challenge, as maybe people have seen on your videos, the DIY Tower Garden Challenge. So Colin and I, we've looked up online a little bit how to do this. So we will be building our own tower garden out of 5-gallon buckets, 2-gallon buckets, however it's made. And we're going to see, how many veggies we can grow on it, how successful we can make it, and hopefully make it, as cheap as possible on how to create. And then we'll, share that knowledge with everybody else.
That's it. Yeah. The tower garden I have is excellent, but it is, rather expensive. So aeroponic gardening is so cool. There's so many different things you can do with it. So we're going to try to make it fun. We're going to learn along the way. And if it works out, then we might have a nice little plan, a nice little tutorial at the end of, or even in the middle of this month about, hey, this is how you can do this for, a fifth of the price. I don't know, who knows how much it'll come out to be, but something like that is very realistic. All right. Another part of this challenge that's going to start here at the beginning, we've got to get some plants ready for all this vertical gardening we're going to do. So there will be a seed starting aspect to this challenge, and look out on the next episode 18 of Green Thumbs and Good Vibes for kind of some seed selections that we're really excited about growing. We're going to keep you updated, talk to you about my setup, Mitchell's setup. They're a little bit different here, but kind of see what's the same, what's different. We're maybe going to experiment with some things to see, how we can get kind of the most robust seedlings that we can for the season. And we have some really exciting stuff to show you as far as that goes. And then there is a third part to the challenge. The third part is going to be something I think we can all relate to if you are an active gardener, that you have a lot of these little pots that you get from the nursery, that the plants come in, you a lot of times transplant them out, and gardeners, are kind of notorious for keeping some of those around and trying to find uses for them. But you always end up with just a bounty of these, like so many just laying around. So the last challenge, Mitchell and I are going to use those nursery pots in some sort of vertical gardening fashion to create a vertical garden installment in our gardens that you guys can, follow along from us coming up with the ideas, building it, planting it out with the seedlings that we started, and then throughout the seasons, seeing us go back, replant that out, and continue to use the vertical gardening setup. So that is the March challenge, guys. March to the Moon is the name. So what are you looking forward to most on this one, Mitchell?
Looking forward to the pot one, where we just kind of make our own sort of vertical, however we see fit, little challenge. Should we challenge each other to see who can make the taller one? Like 8 feet, 9 feet, or
maybe
might be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Like maybe who could use the most pots or something. Like who can have the most planting space. I think would be good. So you can do it how you can make it tall, you can make it wide, whatever you want. We'll see who has the most planting space at the end of it. How about that?
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, see how much we can grow on it.
Yep, that sounds
It's so
fun.
cool to. I love recycling. Old things that are just sitting around and giving it a new purpose. It's always so satisfying.
Oh yeah, and I think everybody has these. I mean, who does not? Who has not been gardening for a year or two and doesn't have a bag somewhere full of these? So maybe we can inspire some people to come up with some creative uses for them. And guys, like you can find these online already, but we're going to try to be creative and just come up with some interesting ideas here of something that might inspire you to make it work. Custom solutions for your space. Maybe you have a certain spot you're looking to fill. This could give you some ideas on how to do that. So I think that's a good rundown of the March challenge. I think my favorite part, I'm actually really excited about the plants we're growing in these challenge arenas, the hydro or the aeroponic garden and also the vertical garden. I'm just really excited to see how some of these things do, because for me it's like and I don't want to get into it too much because so I'm kind of choosing my words wisely here, but like some of the things that we're growing I usually don't like to eat, but we're growing them in such a new way that I'm like excited to try and come up with a great way to cook them.
Oh, I love looking up recipes for, a new vegetable or fruit that you're able to grow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's so satisfying to get those flavors. And even, it's fun walking through the grocery store and seeing like, oh, I'm growing that, I'm growing some of this and that. And, it's pretty cool. And it's going to be better,
Yeah. Theirs usually look nicer. I'll give them that. But, they might be bigger or whatever, but ours have much more flavor. That's sure.
It. That's it. Yep. And we know, where they come from. We know what's in the soil. We know that they weren't sprayed with anything that's going to affect us in a negative way. So, it's all that peace of mind that comes with it as well. And who cares if they're ugly? That's like part of the fun.
Growing a weird looking tomato or something.
Yeah. Like we've all gotten a gnarly potato, right? Remember your one sweet potato that was like a straw? It was like really thin and long.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah. So we've all gotten like some gnarly stuff, but it's kind of cool. It's fun to watch that kind of stuff develop over time and everything.
All the rejects that wouldn't make it to the grocery store.
That's it.
We give them love.
Yeah, that's it. We give them love. All right, man. Well, I think we kind of we got everything covered there. We're so happy we did the February challenge. I hope you guys will join us for the March challenge and for the continuing podcast to come in the future. We're getting into growing season, so it's like the content is going to be ramping up. It's going to be much more exciting. Over the winter, it's fun. We're doing inside stuff, which we know not everybody's into, but definitely getting back to growing, all of our delicious fruits and vegetables that we love to grow. We're very excited about it. So anything you want to say before we wrap it up here, Mitchell?
Just if anyone else wants to join us on the March challenge, do our 3 little setups as well. Send us some pictures or something of your DIY projects. We'd love to see it.
Absolutely. So as a reminder, seed starting setup and kind of challenge, right? We're doing the DIY tower garden, and we're doing the vertical gardening, recycling the pots challenge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So if you want to follow along, that's the list. That's the to do. So, all right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Green Thumbs and Good Vibes. Hope you have a wonderful morning or night wherever you are, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.